Hello friends, it's Chari. Welcome back to my channel and another FLOSSTUBE video. Let's see, today I believe is FLOSSTUBE 34. I think it's 34. I looked it up before I decided to record. I have a few things to share today, a few new things, lots of finished things that I have to share that are mostly older stitches that I just fully finished into something. Yeah, not a lot to share too much life-wise. It's cold one day and then it's summer the next. I don't know. It's that time of year in Western North Carolina where Monday is winter and Thursday is summer. But I'm kind of starting to transition into some Christmas stitching. I wanted to do more fall projects, but I feel like if I continue down that path, I'm not going to get to Christmas projects at all, and then I'll just be kind of upset with myself on that. I was kind of hoping that some haul things would come in the mail today, but they didn't, so I don't have a lot of haul to share. I'll have to share those things when they do come in. One was a really fun chart that I wanted to share, but I'll wait until it arrives to share that with you. I think that's it. So let me flip to my desktop and we'll just get started. So let's start with haul. I did have one thing show up in the mail today. I am part of the Label Club by Sweetwater Ink subscription. And today's that showed up were these cute little labels, or not labels, tags. There are Christmas, a sheet of Christmas, and a sheet of Valentine's. And then it has the fun little instructions on how to make them tags. All you need is some wool or felt, and I have plenty of felt. So these showed up and I was like, oh, that's a really quick project. So I think that I will do those very, very soon. The other haul thing I have to share is Chantelle's Mystery Ornament box for 2025 arrived. It actually came all packaged in this cute little, so all the charts were in here and all the wood pieces were in this little bag here, which I've already opened. So let me show you the pieces first. This one is for the hands-on design chart, which actually is not in here because I've already pulled it out and kitted it. I think this is a really cute little shape. It looks like a cloche. This one is very fun. I really like the pattern that goes on this one from Robin Pickens. This one's a two-piece kind of frame for the Teresa Kogut chart. And then there's this like longer tag shape. So I really love all the shapes this time. I like that they're a little more basic. Sometimes those ones that are snowflakes or a lot going on, I'm never sure what to do with them. And of course, that was before Chantelle had designers come up with patterns for the ornaments. Let me see. Let me pull out the hands-on design one. It's not been stitched, but it has been kitted, so it's in a different spot. So I immediately sent Kathy a message and said, I love your ornament. It's so pretty. So I've already kitted this one up with a little piece of charcoal linen, leaning into the poinsettias this year with hands-on design. Here is the Teresa Kogut chart that goes in that two-piece ornament. This one is for that longer tag, Feathers and Frost by Annie Bees. This one this is probably my least favorite of the box. This one may or may not get stitched. It may become a giveaway. We'll see. Robin Pickens made two charts. I love the cardinals, so this one will be getting stitched at some point. These are the wreath birds. And then this one is the one that goes in that kind of cloche shaped. I'm getting a little bit of a cold, so my brain is not working. That cloche shaped, like domed one with the arch, which I think is really pretty. I'm not sure about this one for me either, but I do like the shape of the ornament, so we'll see. But that is all of my haul for now. So let's jump to new starts. I have had this chart for a little while. I want to stitch the ornaments for a friend that lives at the coast. So I finally started one. I've started this one here. I'm only going to stitch this one first. Eventually, I think I will get to the other parts of this. Now, these are charted with color and cotton floss. I bought the floss pack for the colors. They are supposed to be stitched on, I believe it is sand, maybe, by, I don't even remember who. Sand, I picture this plus, 32 count, but I, of course, wanted to make it teeny tiny and cute. And I've stitched on this probably 2 nights, maybe 3. And I've gotten, no, this was 2 nights of work. This is 40 count white sand by Fox and Rabbit, no, white clay, excuse me, by Fox and Rabbit. So this is going to be tiny. So I'm going to have to get the template and kind of shrink it down to fit, but it is so cute. I really only have left to fill in around the Noel. And there are some little confetti stitches around. Actually, no, there's not. I need to trace the glass dome, the cloche, and then there's not confetti stitches, there are beads to add. So that's really all I have left to do on this one, and then I will at least have one of my Christmas presents done for the year. So that is, again, Coastal Holiday. I thought that this color matched the picture pretty well. So hopefully I can finish that one up, maybe tonight. That's the only new start that isn't a finish. Now this is actually a brand new release from Kathy, but I purchased this last year at the Jingle Ball, but she just released it. It's just now going to shops. So if this Christmas folk interests you and it has a coordinating ornament, it is now available to everyone. I think the last time I shared this, I had the letters. So I haven't gotten too much further along, but I have the little pairs here. So that's what I'm working on there. So I've started in the center and I'm going to work my way out. So just a little bit done. I do have the fabric that goes behind this. I already had it in my stash, so it's sitting here in my bag. And it is all stitched with DMC on a 32 count platinum. And I'm going to make mine just go on the paddle I already have. This one is green, but I'm just going to switch it out on the one I already have stained. So that is my only whip, really. I finished my Woodland Witch as far as I want to finish her. I don't know if her chart's over here. Yes. So she has all these leaves around here and I didn't want to do that. So I shortened up the stems on each side. I moved that tiny mushroom in, and here is what I have. This is on 40 count. Eastwick is the name of this fabric by Fox and Rabbit, I believe. Or maybe not. It could be, I don't know. I'll put the information on the screen. I don't always remember. I remember the name of it. I just don't remember the dyer. And this is stitched with the call for colors with some changes, which I know I've talked about before. I did not put the little squirrels that are in the grass. I left those out. I shortened this up. I did not do the leaves. I'm not quite sure how I want to finish her. She might be cute on that little ornament, actually, that I just showed you. It's kind of shaped like the cloche. We'll see. And I might come in and put some little confetti stitches around. I'm not sure. I kind of like that the stars and everything are contained inside there, but I'm afraid because the bottom's a little wider that it's going to look empty around. So we'll just see. Haven't quite decided. She's kind of just going to go into the pile of things to be finished later for right now. This one is finished. Let me find my, oh, here it is. A Harvest of Blessings by Hands On Design. I stitched this on a 32 count, one more reproduction. in all the called for DMC colors. And I think I'm going to finish it. I kind of left it in the hoop because it looked really good in the hoop. But I think I'm going to finish it on this piece in the frame. It's taking me a while to decide what I want to do. But I really love how it turned out. It was a really fun stitch for fall. It was perfect for fall. I love the colors. I love it on this fabric. So yeah, that is a harvest of blessings. So hopefully I can finish that one maybe this weekend. We'll see. And I finally finished Life is Short by the Scissors. I think this was a whip last time. It wasn't quite done, but I didn't have a lot left to do. So I need to finish this one up just like the other finishes. I changed my colors, which I know I talked about last time, so I'm not going to go into that all this time. You can go back and see the list of colors as I change them. Let me see if I have the original chart. Oh, here it is. Mine's a printout. So this was the original colors by Kathy, and then I changed it a little bit. Changed to more pinky red, pulled in some different colors for the quilt blocks. But yeah, By the Scissors is done, and I Was Stitching is done, and I need to put them all together. You can see I already have my quilt batting cut, and I already have my mat board cut, and I have all my finishing pieces in here, my Clipster finishing boards from Chantelle. So hopefully I can get those finished up. They're not really priority right now because I'm kind of into holiday stuff, so they may just sit a little while. We'll see. I also finished my pre-stitching for class for the Jingle Ball for Hands-On Design for Perforated Poinsettias, this little cute little needle book. This is the back with the alphabet. And here is my stitching. So this is to make the two little pins. This is the front, and then the back you could customize the alphabet with your family names like she did, like the first names of everyone in her family in red, and then maiden names. What I discovered with this exercise is that there's a lot of repeat letters. Matt, Chari, my maiden name is also a C. My married name is an M. I did S for Scout, and then when I was like, oh, we'll do mom and dad and sister. Sister's also an S. We have Jan and Rex. So then I did an N because that is Stacy's middle name. And then I was like, oh, let's go to aunts and uncles. No, Richard, Nancy, already taken. John, which is my father-in-law, the J was already taken. Sheila, the S was already taken. So I was just like, I've had the same 5 letters. So I had to really dig deep, go into grandparents, go into grandparents' maiden names, go into my husband's grandparents to get a nice variety of letters that were not all just in one area of the same color and then everything be pink. So I did it eventually. It just took a little while to get all those letters figured out. I think this is really pretty with the satin stitch to make the poinsettias with the 2 different colors. So I'm excited to take this class at the Jingle Ball and have Kathy show us how to put this together. Now, I just ordered the PDF chart, not the kit. So I already had the paper. It's charted in DNC. And then I've gone through my stash and pulled out some felt that I think is going to work really nice. She has 2 colors of green, and then the pages inside are white. I'm going to go with a more kind of muted color palette. I think this smoked paprika from Pasta Design matches pretty well. Get it out of the plastic so you can see. I'm going to make that the top. I'm going to make the green the inside, and then I'm going to make my pages shortbread. So shortbread, Grove, and smoked paprika. So I've got all those tucked away in my project bag here, ready for the Jingle Ball class. And I'm hoping that her teaching this class will help me make my other needle books too, because I have the thread white and blue one done, just not put together. And then I also have the, is it Wear a Crown? I don't know. I haven't stitched it yet, but I want to stitch it in some different colors. But I'm hoping if I learn how to put one needle book together with Kathy, I'll be able to do all of them. I'm sure I will be. Another thing I talked about last time was my finish for Gathered Pumpkins. I had also already finished Gathered Wildflowers, but I did not have them on their paddles yet. These are going to go on that same barnwood with the little hooks, which I've already got sitting in there to put up on the wall, so I'm not going to bring that back in here. You can go back to the last floss tube if you want to see how I did the hooks to hang them, but I did finish up Gather Wildflowers. So they were already stitched. I just needed to paint the paddles and put the rickrack on and finish them, figure out what bow worked with these. So that's Gather Wildflowers by Hands On Design. So I need to do Gather Pine Cones and Gather Butterflies. Summer and winter have not been stitched yet. They are in the pile to do. Another one I had last time that wasn't fully finished was Let It Grow. And I know I talked I was going to finish it on the round piece of mat board from Hands On Design because it was the perfect size. And I just had this little, not cheapy frame, but this little frame. I don't even know how big this is. I think it's 6 by 6. No, I think it's 5.5. I have 5.5. Anyway, I just got this at like TJ Maxx, Home Goods. I put a piece of mat board in there that I covered with some fabric, put my circle that I had laced on there, and then I made some cording and just tied it in a little bow at the bottom. So it's just a little stand-up frame, and I just think it turned out really cute. I like the starry fabric behind it. So that's Let It Grow by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And I believe this is a 36 count. I'll always put that information at the bottom because I don't always remember until I go and edit. So let's do some older things that I finally finished. This little Halloween quilt pillow. This is stitched on a 40 count grandpa sleeve, I think. This is from Primrose Cottage. Stitches in the 13 Spooky Smalls. I think it's a Halloween quilt is the name of it. I am not 100% sure because I don't have the book anymore. It was a giveaway, so I don't know exactly the name of it, but I think that's what it is. I had already sewn this into a pillow. I just needed to stuff it. I'm not sure if I want to do any edging. I kind of like it the way it is. I need to find some cute pins maybe to stick in the top, but it was already sewn. It just needed to be stuffed. Another Halloween thing I had not finished yet is this Cast a Spell from the Plaid All Year series from Hands On Design. It was already stitched. It needed to be put on the board. I did go in before I put it on the board, and I don't know if you can see it or not. I borrowed some Kreinik from my sister and added a little sparkle to all the bubbles in all these little stitches up here before I laced it and then put it on the board. And there is a magnet between the two pieces so that it can stick to the display board. The on the edge display board from Chantelle is where these go. This one still needs the little bow at the top, but I'm going to do that before I put it away for next year. And then another finish that I just finished was this Give Thanks by Primrose Cottage. It was a freebie last year, and I stitched it last year, kind of during Helene hurricane stuff. I don't remember what count this is. I'll put it on the screen. It needed to be finished though, so I just used a little scrap of plaid that I thought the colors worked really well. Made it a little pillow, put some chenille trim around it, and tied this little velvet It's not even a bow, it's just a little knot. But I think it turned out really cute. And here is another thing that was halfway finished. I stitched this last year. This is from Chantelle's ornament box from last year. It needed to be laced. I spent a whole day lacing things. My fingers were sore. And then I finished it on the ornament. I tried something different on this one. Kathy's design on her pattern, let me grab it, had a paper, a Mod Podge to the wooden piece. I decided to try it with some fabric. It worked okay. I stiffened the fabric first before I did the Mod Podge. I do like when you distress the edge with some sandpaper, it kind of frays it a little bit. I think it gives it kind of an antique-y look. What didn't work well is when I tried to spray it with the sealer. I feel like it made the dark spots kind of cloudy. But most of it got covered up anyways. I've added a little bow. I need to put a hanger on it. But I think it turned out really cute. And I did change mine a little bit, as you can tell. I did not do the gray in the checkerboard. I just left it the negative and you could see the fabric through. And I really like the way this turned out. I like the white and red better. But yeah, that's a home for the holiday. This is not available yet. I don't know if it will be, but that was from the 2024 ornament box from Chantelle's 141. All right, my other kind of big, fully finished thing, which this is a little too big, but this is a 8x10 frame that I got at Hobby Lobby. It had no hangers or any, well, it doesn't have, I think it had hangers. I bought, it was one of those, like, it was $10. So it had no glass, no filler, no nothing. I bought these so I could fill it. This is a piece of foam core. This is a piece of Bristol mat board that I covered in this fabric. I picked a neutral fabric that would work with all of my stitches. And as you saw on the back, there were 2 magnets, which are not attached. So they're probably gonna fall, you hear them fall. But I have 2 magnets on the back of all my stitches. So this is Simply Autumn with the fabric, because it wasn't quite the right proportions. So what I decided to do was add a little fabric to the bottom to make it the right proportions to fit in here. I have the rickrack around, I tied some twine, and I bought a little charm. So this one is a leaf. Let me pull out my other ones here. They're in a little bag. So we also have Simply Winter. So this will just stick to those magnets. You can kind of adjust it. That's why they're kind of in that void in the mat board. So I've got my same fabric at the bottom, the rickrack. I can list all the details of the actual like rickrack colors and stuff I used. This little charm is from Michael's. It's just a snowflake. The other ones I got from an Etsy seller. And these are all stitched on Prairie Land from Atomic Ranch. Here's Spring, which will attach there. It has a little butterfly charm. The purple, the green matches the green in the stitch. The purple, I pulled in the purple from the flowers. The twine is, this is like a jute twine for May Arts, but the colored twine on each of these is a lawn fawn twine. So I'll put that information in the description box below too for all those. And then finally, we have Summer. And it has a little bee charm. I brought in the blue of the alphabet and the house, brought in the yellow in the fabric. Anyway, I just think they turned out so pretty. So let me pull this off. The magnets are gonna stay there probably. And I'll show you all of them together, hopefully. We'll see. So spring, summer, fall, and winter. So there's all those together. And I love how they turned out. I was really excited about kind of adding the fabric to each one to make it sort of quilty like a pillow, and then the rickrack, and then going on to the very neutral frames. So I can put this frame up and then just change out the seasons, and I don't have to have 4 different frames. So while I have my camera zoomed out, you can see my light up here. Sorry about that. I made this felt stitched sign that says "Give Thanks" using all Pashta design dies and felt. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Each of the letters has 2 layers of heavyweight cardstock in the center, so they're nice and stiff, and it stands up like this. I sewed some little pockets, let's just say, like slots for these little, they're like a wide jewelry wire. I actually folded them over on top of each other, so it's 2-ply, made a little L-shaped stand. There's one that goes in S, it just fell out. And it holds it up pretty nicely. But I really love how this turned out. It was such a fun project to do. The letters are all glued together where they overlap, so it's all X is one piece. This is the spring flower. There's 3 of them stitched together to give me a place to put the word give and the extra leaves and everything. And I use both of the falling leaves sets and the banner builder alphabet, which I just love this font. I want to make some more projects with it very, very soon. So that is Give Thanks, using all Pashta design dies, which I just think is really, I just love how it turned out. I just really needed to get it done before Thanksgiving, so luckily I did this past weekend. Okay, let's talk about giveaways. Last FLOSSTUBE, I had 2 giveaways. One was this Plum Street sampler chart that was part of Chantelle's box last year, the ornament backer that goes with it, and a Lugana that matches in color, even though it's not the same count. And the keyword for that was calm. All right, and so I'm going to put the comment up here for my winner, which is Diane Kerr. She said, all is calm before the holidays. Yes, it is. So Diane, if you will please email me at the email listed below, I will get this little prize out to you. The other one I had was this little House Needleworks with a square backer and some Lugana to go with that. And the keyword for that one was love, because it's called Snow and Love. And let me put that comment up here. My winner for that, it's LYNT2408. So I don't really know the name, but if you will also send me an email at the email listed below, just since you have 2, just remind me of which one it is, just in case your email doesn't match your screen names. All right, today's giveaway is Snow Kissed Mittens by Robin Pickens. This was also from last year's ornament box. I just have a lot of things that I like better, so I want to pass this along to someone who might want to stitch it. I am going to throw in the little sleigh, which I do think is adorable. It's just too big for my tree. I have a tiny tree. And I'm not sure what else I have that I can stitch on it, so I am going to be generous and give this one away too. So use the keyword mittens somewhere in your comment. Please be 18. Please live in the United States. Please like the video. Please subscribe to my channel so that you know when I have a new video. But please use the keyword mittens. Let's see. And if you could leave that comment by November 29th, then I will pick a winner for this little bundle. All right, so I think that's all for today. That was a lot of finished things to share. I got a lot of finishing done, which felt great. It actually made me dive back into my bag of things that have finished stitching and I haven't actually fully finished, and take another look at them and be like, what do I want to finish? So I actually pulled something out that I stitched a long time ago on 14 count Aida, so it's kind of big, and I'm hoping maybe I can finish that one before Thanksgiving. We'll see. But yeah, stay tuned. So thank you so much for watching. Happy stitching. Have an amazing day. Bye.